Starts getting loud. I know your ass not sitting here talking. Vanessa, you sit here and try to air out. Broke you a lying ass. So then Vanessa and Herd's going back and forth. I said, Vanessa, you won't believe what just went down behind closed doors. Jackie stormed off the set after Evelyn dropped a bombshell about Vanessa's hidden baby truth. Cameras panned as tension crackled. Whispers turned to gasps when Evelyn, arms trembling with emotion, revealed years of whispered secrets and late-night phone calls that nobody saw coming. The atmosphere was electric. Producers whispered frantically. Assistants blinked in stunned silence, and fans at home erupted into theories. Emotions ran high as Jackie's expression shifted from shock to fury. Her composure shattered in a heartbeat. For weeks, rumors swirled about Vanessa's mysterious absences, but no one imagined the story lurking beneath the surface. With this explosive confession echoing through the studio, loyalties are torn and alliances are tested. The family was left divided, and the closest friends are choosing sides. Is Vanessa hiding a newborn, or is there an even darker secret waiting to emerge? Even Evelyn's voice cracked under the strain, revealing that sometimes the hardest truths come from the people you trust most. Fans are shocked. Social media is ablaze, and the question on everyone's lips is simple. What happens next? Buckle up, because this is only the beginning of a drama that will change everything you thought you knew. When the cameras stopped rolling, after Evelyn's revelation, the air in the green room felt thick with tension. Jackie paced back and forth, her heels clicking against the linoleum floor like a ticking clock counting down to disaster. She ran a trembling hand through her hair, her eyes darting between producers who avoided her gaze, and crew members filming every moment of her unraveling composure. She couldn't believe what she just heard. Vanessa, her childhood friend and partner in countless projects, might have been hiding a baby all this time. How could you keep something like this from me? Jackie's voice cracked, lower lip quivering as she stared at her reflection in a makeup mirror. The lights around it glowed like miniature suns, illuminating every streak of mascara teardrops had left on her cheeks. We've been through everything together. We shared auditions, heartbreaks, celebrations, ... She never once said a word about having a child. Evelyn hovered nearby, arms crossed, her expression unreadable. She'd been the one to break the news, her own hands shaking as she recalled going through Vanessa's phone late at night, finding sweet but frantic voicemails from a number Jackie didn't recognize, labeled, "Mama?" She swallowed hard. In that moment, she felt like a traitor and a hero at the same time. "I'm sorry, Jackie," Evelyn whispered. I didn't want to believe it either, but Kia, the production assistant, she saw Vanessa slipping out during the break. She took her phone, overheard her talking about feeding schedules and diaper changes. Evelyn's eyes flickered with guilt. "I never meant for you to find out like this." As Jackie's jaw clenched, the door burst open and a producer in a rumpled shirt called her name. "Jackie, we need you back on set in 5. The words felt like nails on a chalkboard. Jackie turned her head away, unwilling to plaster a smile back on her face, unwilling to pretend everything was fine. Outside, the set was alive with murmurs. Cameras rolled silently, capturing every furrow of Jackie's brow. Vanessa sat in makeup, pretending to adjust her hair, but her hand shook so badly she nearly dropped the curling iron. Across from her, Evelyn stood stiffly, avoiding eye contact. Behind them, assistants whispered about how Vanessa had changed outfits multiple times this morning, clutching a loose jacket that could have been used to hide the roundness of her stomach. Jackie felt the weight of stares as she returned to her spot. She forced herself to sit, every muscle in her body screaming, to run. The director called action, and Jackie's heart pounded as if she might suffer a heart attack on live television. She opened her mouth to speak, but the rehearsed lines came out hollow. "Cut." The director shouted, "Jackie, are you okay?" Assistants rushed in with water bottles and tissues. The buzz of electric lights overhead felt like an interrogation lamp. Jackie drained her bottle in one gulp, trying to steady the tremor in her voice. "I'm fine," she managed, though her voice sounded distant, as if coming from underwater. She glanced at Vanessa, whose eyes were downcast. Jackie wanted to lash out to demand the truth in front of everyone. But a small voice in her head whispered that confrontation here would only lead to chaos. Instead, she stood and walked toward, the corner of the stage alone. The set lights dimmed slightly, offering a momentary cloak of shadows. She bent to tie her shoelace, breathing in and out, counting the seconds until the next scene. Her mind replayed every conversation with Vanessa. From the past 6 months, the excited texts about a possible photo shoot, a sudden doctor appointments, vanishing without explanation, the unexplained hospital bracelet she spotted on Vanessa's wrist once. "What were you hiding, Vanessa?" Jackie muttered under her breath. She tilted her head, imagining Vanessa whispering lullabies to a baby in some secret room she'd constructed. In her apartment, jealousy and betrayal twisted inside her chest. Jealousy that Vanessa had experienced a joy Jackie didn't know about. Betrayal that her closest friend had orchestrated a lie. Down the hall, a small group of friends huddled, near the catering table. They spoke in hushed tones, glancing toward the set, with worried expressions. One of them, Mariah, fought back tears. She'd been Vanessa's maid of honor and had listened to Vanessa's sob over fertility struggles just months ago, handcuffed her mouth as she cried silently. "I feel used," Jackie whispered to no one, like I was a prop in her story. She pressed her palm against the cool metal of a lighting rig, grounding herself as reality threatened to tilt. She remembered a conversation from last week when Vanessa had begged her to attend a late-night event, citing urgent career networking. Instead, Vanessa had slipped out early, leaving Jackie to field awkward questions about her abrupt departure. The scene resumed, and Jackie returned to her place. She pressed her face into the mask of professionalism, plastering on a smile hollow as a cave. Cameras rolled in as Vanessa approached, initiating a staged argument that now felt painfully real. Vanessa's voice wavered as she started to speak. "Jackie," Vanessa began, eyes brimming with tears that mirrored Jackie's own. "I never wanted to hurt you. I was scared." Her words trembled. The crew held their breath. Jackie's heart tightened. Part of her wanted to scream at Vanessa to own up, but another part act for the friend she used to know. She stepped closer, voice barely above a whisper. Scared of what? And in that moment, their staged confrontation blurred with genuine emotion. Vanessa swallowed, looking at the floor, and confessed in a broken whisper that she'd given birth 6 months ago and placed the baby in temporary care with her sister, while she focused on rebuilding her career after a painful breakup. This time, the set fell silent. The microphones hanging overhead captured every quiver in Vanessa's voice. Even the director froze, mouth open, realizing the authenticity of the moment. Jackie's eyes filled with tears as she felt the truth crash into her like a wave. The assistant director called for a break, but no one moved. Jackie sank onto a nearby crate, head in her hands while Vanessa collapsed beside her, sobbing. The crew exchanged uneasy glances, unsure whether to continue filming or step in. Outside, a cameraman zoomed in on the exchange, knowing this was the kind of raw footage that would break the internet. Rumors of Vanessa's secret baby had been swirling, but no one anticipated an on-camera confession. Fans watching the live stream back at home paused, rewound, replayed. Social media exploded with clips of Vanessa's trembling admission. Jackie lifted her head, hair falling in damp strands around her face. She looked at Vanessa and said softly, "I wish you'd trusted me." Her voice trembled with a mix of anger, hurt, and love. Vanessa nodded, unable to meet her gaze, her tears falling freely. In that half-lit warehouse-turned-studio, the line between scripted drama and real emotion shattered. The family was left divided, and in the aftermath, no one knew whether they'd ever repair the cracks. But one thing was certain: the truth once exposed could never be hidden again. The set remained eerily quiet as Jackie and Vanessa sat side by side, the echoes of their friendships unraveling, hanging heavy in the air. The cameras kept rolling, capturing every raw tear and broken promise. Ready to unveil this explosive chapter to the world, the cameras kept rolling as the producer waved frantically for silence. Assistants scrambled to clear the area, ushering crew members out of the way so Vanessa and Jackie could have a moment off camera, but the buzz of speculation only grew louder. Whispers of, "Did you see her face?" And "What will Jackie do now?" ricocheted through the rafters. Vanessa's sister, Lena, suddenly appeared at the edge of the set, her expression a mix of fear and resolve. She approached Vanessa with a crumpled hospital bracelet in hand. "You have to tell them," she hissed, voice shaking. "He's been asking for you." Vanessa's hands trembled as she clutched the bracelet. "I'm not ready," she whispered, tears tracking down her cheeks. Producers exchanged worried glances, torn between capturing this goldmine of raw emotion and protecting their cast from complete meltdown. Complete meltdown. Evelyn hovered nearby. "Gill etch. Gill etch." "Jackie," she typed brief replies, heart pounding. Social media was already ablaze, trending within minutes. Vanessa as secret baby, and Jackie walks out. Jackie closed her eyes, picturing the headlines that would dominate gossip blogs by morning. Every swipe revealed new theories. Was the baby real? Did Evelyn leak on purpose? Is there a hidden tape? The flood of questions threatened to drown her. Back on set, Vanessa attempted to steady herself as makeup artists whispered about Rhea playing blush to cover her tear-streaked cheeks. She pressed her hands into her lap, voice barely a whisper. "I thought I could handle it alone." She looked at the director, who offered a tentative nod. "We'll keep rolling, but you tell me when you need to stop." Vanessa straightened her spine, drawing in a shaky breath. "I need everyone to understand why I lied," she began, voice thick with emotion. "The day my son was born, I was terrified. I'd just come out of a messy breakup, and I couldn't face the stigma of being a single mother in this industry." Assistants hurried in to adjust the camera, capturing every nuance of her confession. Unexpectedly, the assistant director tapped Vanessa on the shoulder and mouthed, "We have company." Through the haze of lights, Vanessa spotted a tall figure stepping onto the setter X. Marcus, the baby's father. He strode forward, jaw clenched, eyes blazing. "You think you can hide him and then just show up here and cry for sympathy?" he demanded, voice echoing off the warehouse walls. Crew members froze, unsure whether to intervene. Marcus held up a folder. "I brought paternity documents and proof that I've been supporting him since birth. Where were you when I needed you?" Vanessa flinched, shielding her eyes as though sunlight had struck her. The tension between them crackled like electricity. Jackie, alerted by the commotion, returned slowly to the center of the set. She positioned herself between Vanessa and Marcus without thought, protective instinct kicking in despite her own heartbreak. "Enough," she said, voice low but firm. "This isn't how we handle family matters." Marcus's shoulders loosened slightly, but his gaze never left Vanessa. "Don't stand up for her," he snapped. "You didn't know the half of it." Evelyn stepped forward, chest heaving. "These are her choices, her secrets. We're here because this is her platform to speak." Marcus glowered, then exhaled as though draining poison from his lungs. "Fine," he muttered, "but I'm here for my son." As the cameras pivoted to capture the family standoff, Mariah and Kia huddled near catering, their faces pale. Mariah whispered, "This is getting out of hand. What if the network cuts us off?" Kia shook her head. "It's too late for damage control. The story is live." They watched in horrified fascination as Vanessa's world unraveled in real time. Assistants skewered to update social feeds, posting raw clips that would rack up views in seconds. The line between empathy and exploitation blurred, leaving everyone wondering who would come out unscathed. Vanessa's voice cracked as she spoke, directly to the camera, tears glistening in her eyes. "I know I hurt people I love," she said, lips trembling. "But I did it because I thought it was best for him. I needed to protect him from the chaos, from the rumors." She glanced at Marcus, who nodded, expression softening. Jackie placed a gentle hand on Vanessa's shoulder, offering silent support. The crew exhaled collectively, sensing a fragile peace settling over the set. Yet beneath that calm lay a storm of unresolved emotions: betrayal, guilt, anger, and the bittersweet hope of forgiveness. Just as the scene seemed to reach a tentative resolution, a runner dashed onto the set, clutching an envelope stamped urgent. She approached the director, whispering into his ear. The director frowned, then pocketed the envelope and addressed the cast. "We're going to take a brief break. Everyone clear the floor." As the cast stepped aside, Marcus opened the envelope, pulling out a single sheet of paper. His eyes widened. Vanessa and Jackie leaned in, breath caught. The camera operator zoomed closer, capturing the moment paternity test results met their eyes. Gasps echoed through the emptying set, and the only certainty was that the next revelation would be even more explosive. A hush fell over the cavernous set as Marcus unfolded the paper, his eyes scanning every line. Vanessa and Jackie leaned in, their hair brushing against each other, a silent reminder of bonds that had once felt unbreakable. The paper trembled in Marcus's hand like a fragile leaf caught in a storm. "It's not his," he whispered. Voice, a strangled gasp. The revelation landed like a bomb, shattering the fragile piece they'd just begun to stitch together. Vanessa recoiled as though stung, her lips parting in a silent scream. Jackie's breath hitched, memories of every moment since. The first hint of a secret rushing back. Vanessa's furt of phone calls, the soft lullabies she'd hummed in the pre-hall. The nights of whispered apologies and feigned excuses. She stared at Marcus, confusion and betrayal lighting her eyes. "What do you mean, not his?" she asked, voice barely more than a tremor. Marcus ran a hand through his hair, gripping the table. "For support. According to this test, I'm not the biological father. The sample was contaminated, they say, but the result is clear. She's mine, but not yours." His words hung in the air, twisting in the silence. Assistants exchanged frantic looks, unsure whether to intervene or let the drama play out. Vanessa's knees buckled and she sank to the floor, clutching the curb of the stage as though holding on for dear life. Tears streamed down her cheeks, free and unrestrained. "It's not true," she sobbed. "It can't be." She looked at Marcus with pleading eyes. "Please say it's wrong." Marcus's jaw tightened. "You have every right to deny it, but the lab is reputable." He held up the papers again, as if proof could somehow validate the pain etched across Vanessa's face. Evelyn approached tentative as though stepping into a minefield. She knelt beside Vanessa, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. "We'll get a second test," she said softly, voice full of remorse. "We'll clear this up." Jackie remained standing, torn between sympathy and anger. Her world had tilted on its axis, and she struggled to find solid ground. "How could you let this happen?" she asked. Vanessa, voice low and trembling. "How many lies have you told?" Vanessa looked up, her eyes swollen and red. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," she murmured. "I thought I could handle it. Thought I could protect him from the chaos." Just then, Lena appeared again, clutching her phone. "You need to see this," she said, her voice urgent. She pressed a video file into Vanessa's trembling hands. On-screen grainy footage showed Vanessa at a gathering 2 months ago, laughing as she cradled a baby swaddled in a pink blanket. The camera panned to reveal a man beside her, a stranger whose face was obscured by shadows. Vanessa's free hand reached out, fingers brushing his arm with familiarity. Vanessa gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. "That's not Marcus," she whispered, voice breaking. "Someone else." The room spun as the implications took hold. Marcus clenched his fists. "Who is he?" he demanded, anger flaring. "Who is this?" Vanessa shook her head, tears streaming. "I don't know his name," she admitted. "He was someone I met during a charity event. I didn't plan for it to go this far. I thought I could fix it before anyone found out." She looked at Jackie, desperate. "I never meant to hurt you." Jackie felt her heart fracture all over again. She sank to a seat beside Vanessa, wrapping an arm around her shaking shoulders. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked. "We could have faced it together." Vanessa buried her face in Jackie's chest, her body racked with sobs. "I was scared you'd hate me," she whispered. "I was scared you'd leave." The frame a cameraman panned to capture the reunion of broken friends, the tension, coiled in the air, electric and suffocating. Producers whispered into headsets, wondering how much of this raw footage they could air before concerns about exploitation forced them to cut. Social media notifications chimed relentlessly as clips of the new twist flooded the internet. Fans speculated wildly. Who's the mystery man? Is Vanessa a serial liar? Will Jackie forgive her? Evelyn clicked her tongue softly, eyes darting around the set. She approached the director, concerned, crinkling her brow. "I think we need to pause this," she said quietly. "We're in dangerous territory." The director nodded slowly, eyes fixed on the unfolding drama. "We'll take 10, he replied, voice steady, voice steady. As the crew dispersed, Vanessa, Jackie, Marcus, and Evelyn remained huddled under the bright lights. The temporary break felt like a prison cell, trapping them in a loop of guilt and unanswered questions. Vanessa wiped her face, voice. "I have to find him," she declared. "I have to know who my son really is." Jackie squeezed her hand. "We'll help," she said firmly, surprising herself with a conviction in her voice. Marcus rounded on, her eyes narrowed. "They're still on his side?" he asked, hurt flashing across his face. After all this betrayal, Jackie met, his gaze unwavering. "I'm on the side of truth," she replied, "and I'll stand by the baby no matter what." For a moment, silence reigned, broken only by the distant hum of lights. Then Vanessa stood, resolve hardening, her features. She brushed past Marcus's determination in her stride. "I'm going to get answers," she said, voice clear. "And when I do, I'll face all of you." With that, she strode off the set, leaving Jackie and Marcus staring after her. Evelyn hesitated, then followed, guilt and hope wearing in her heart. Jackie remained seated, watching them go, tears glinting on her lashes. In that charged silence, she whispered to the empty stage, "This isn't over." The cameras lingered for a beat before the director called to action again. The lights brightened, the set buzzed back to life, and life imitated art in its most devastating form. The next chapter of this saga was already taking shape, and no one on that set could predict the storm that awaited them. When Vanessa stepped off the set, her heels clicking like a metronome, marking each heartbeat, the air outside, the studio doors felt icier than the desert night. She paused under a flickering exit sign, trying to steady herself against the wall. Marcus and Evelyn fell in beside her, their faces grave. Jacqueline, still breathing hard from the confrontation, ducked into the shadow of an alcove. The faint hum of camera equipment drifted through the corridor, a reminder that even now, millions of eyes were watching. "I need to know the truth," Vanessa whispered, voice raw. She pressed a trembling hand to her abdomen where uncertainty churned like a storm. "I can't live with lies anymore." Marcus glanced at her, pain and love flickering across his features. "Let's get that DNA test done properly," he said softly. "No, more contaminated samples. No more secrets." Evelyn nodded, guilt softened by determination. "I'll set it up," she promised, "first thing tomorrow. We'll be with you every step of the way." They moved down the hallway toward a small cherrywood office where the network's legal team had set up a temporary station. Behind its frosted glass, men in navy suits consulted clipboards and tablets. Assistants hovered, ready to field messages that would define the next headline. Vanessa closed her eyes and inhaled, trying to draw courage from somewhere deep. She had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in her mind, but nothing could prepare her for the vulnerability of facing it in real life. Inside the office, legal counsel offered a seat and a stack of forms. Vanessa sank into a chair, the leather cool beneath her. Marcus sat across from her, his hand outstretched on the desk. "I believe in you," he said quietly. "We'll get the answers." Evelyn hovered by the door, arms crossed. "So sorry," she breathed. "For everything." Vanessa met her gaze, pain mirrored in her eyes. "You didn't ruin my life," she replied. "You just forced me to stop hiding." As Vanessa signed the release, forms for the DNA test, the network's tech crew streamed the moment to a private channel for executives to monitor. Producers exchanged nods. This was the kind of unscripted authenticity advertisers craved. Outside the office windows, the city, lights twinkled, a silent audience unaware of the tempest brewing inside. After the paperwork was done, Marcus led Vanessa to a small studio where a nurse and a technician waited with sterile swabs and vials. Under the harsh fluorescent lights, Vanessa's nerves surged. She closed her eyes as the swab brushed the inside of her cheek, then exhaled in relief when it was over. Marcus followed, yielding his own sample. Their hands brushed as they handed the vials back to the nurse, a small gesture of solidarity and chaos. Once the samples were secured, Vanessa and Marcus were escorted to a private waiting lounge with plush sofas and a single coffee table. Evelyn followed, carrying bottled water and tissues. The three of them settled into tense silence, each lost in their thoughts. Vanessa traced invisible patterns on the table surface, wondering how a simple truth could have spiraled into destruction. "We'll get the results in 48 hours, the technician said before leaving the room. "You'll be the first to know." With that, she closed the door, leaving an eerie quiet in her wake. The digital clock on the wall flickered. 11:17 p.m. The hours until morning felt like lifetimes. Marcus broke the silence. "Promise me you'll call me if you feel like you can't handle it." His voice cracked. Nessa reached across the table, gripping his hand. "I promise. Promise me you'll stand by me." He squeezed her fingers, eyes glistening. "Always." Evelyn watched them, regret evident in every line of her face. She cleared her throat. "I know I can't undo what happened on set," she murmured, "but let me help you pick up the pieces." Vanessa nodded, tears slipping free. "I need friends, not drama," she said. "Thank you for this." Meanwhile, back on the main stage, Jackie found herself pacing near the lighting grid. Producers tried to coax her back for a final shot, but she refused. Her phone buzzed nonstop, DMs, tweets, messages urging her to post a statement. She sank into a director's chair, head in her hands. A text from Vanessa glowed on her screen. "Thank you for standing by me. Can we talk tomorrow?" Jackie smiled through tears and typed, "Always." As the sun rose over the city's skyline, the studio prepared to resume filming for a new segment. Social media exploded overnight. GIFs of Vanessa's confession, clips of the paternity twist, fan theories about the mystery stranger, network executives poured over engagement metrics with eager anticipation. Sponsors buzzed about ad spots, excited by the record-breaking views predicted for the impending DNA reveal. In the private lounge, Vanessa dozed against Marcus's shoulder. Evelyn sat nearby, reviewing notes on her phone, planning an apology, video, and a charitable announcement to shift the narrative. She paused, contemplating the fine line between empathy and exploitation. She would speak honestly, she vowed, and encouraged viewers to embrace self-love over sensationalism suddenly. A soft chime from the technician's phone broke the silence. The results were ready. Marcus and Vanessa sat up, hearts racing. They exchanged a look that held hope and dread in equal measure. The technician stepped into the room holding a sealed envelope. "I have your results," she said. Her calm voice contrasted with a pounding in their chests. Marcus slid the envelope across the table to Vanessa with a gentle nod. She hesitated, breath suspended before breaking the seal. Her eyes darted across the page. Tears spilled as relief and guilt warred on her face. "Tim," she whispered, voice thick. Our son Marcus exhaled, relief flooding his features. He reached for her, pulling her into a gentle embrace. Vanessa sobbed, burying her face in his shoulder, remorse and joy mingling in her tears. Evelyn watched, heart pounding. The moment was raw and uncut, a truth more powerful than any script. The next scene in the lounge felt suspended in time. Outside, the world waited. Cameras were rolling again, set to capture Vanessa's reaction for the upcoming finale. The network had a choice. Continue milking the drama or allow a moment of genuine redemption to shine through. Vanessa drew back, wiping her cheeks, and looked into the lens beyond the technician. She drew in a shaky breath and said, voice unwavering, "I lied because I was afraid, but today I choose honesty. I choose to love myself and my son." With that, the boundaries between performance and reality blurred once more. As Vanessa and Marcus prepared to return to the set to share their truth, Jackie sat in her trailer ready to offer forgiveness and support. Emotions ran high, fans were riveted, and the family, though fractured, began a fragile journey toward healing. The cameras followed, capturing every step, every tear, and every heartbeat. Because in this world of reality and illusion, sometimes the hardest moments are also the most real. The storm of secrets, betrayals, raw confessions has left Jackie, Vanessa, Marcus, and Evelyn standing at a crossroads that no script could have truly prepared them for. What be? What be?